really excited today to be joined by some of our awesome MBA faculty at Walsh College. My name is Susie Siegel, and I have the privilege of serving as the provost for Walsh. And I'm here today with our faculty and the academic leadership as well for MBA. And we're going to talk about why Walsh and why an MBA is so important for your career. So one of the things I want to ask Professor Richards to highlight is, and Terry, talk to us a little bit about what are the things that you see as so vital for business leaders that our MBA highlights that they have to know?
Sure. It's the rapidly changing pace of technology, the fact that new innovative products and services and industries are entering the market all the time, and there's both disruptive as well as sustaining innovations. So even if you're not a front runner, you might have to pick up those products, that service, and continually innovate it. We see that with our iPhones, right? Every year there's a new release,
Yes.
they've innovated it. Yeah. The other thing is who helps with this is the customer. We have a very connected customer nowadays. We've got a very wise customer. The information symmetry is there. It didn't used to be there. We didn't used to know what a car cost or what we'd get off of it. So now there's co-value being created with the consumers, and they use digital means to get to us.
Mm-hmm.
They use Facebook, social media, they use email, they leave feedback, they share with people. So the organization has to up its digital game. And that's one of the things that we cover. Additionally, because of so much interaction with the consumer and so much data being drawn from the environment, the big data that's out there, we need to protect it. So we do go through risk management. And that includes kind of the triad of incident response, the immediate response, disaster recovery, starting the recovery methods, and then meanwhile, business continuity planning, because you want as much of your business to keep going as you can. And finally, I think that just by bringing this all together from a business college, that's all we do is business, is probably the best way to start your understanding of what the new organizations need today.
Yeah, that is so key. I love when you talked about the difference between sustaining innovations and disruptive innovations and really understanding the science and art of both. Thank you so much, Terry. Is that exciting? Like, I want to enroll today. I just love the thought of it. Laura, talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing in the design thinking course, why that's so important for students to approach things from a design thinking perspective. And then we'll go a little deeper into a potential way to do a dual program with our management program. But let's talk about the design thinking. What do you see there that's such a value add for our MBA students?
Following on from what Dr. Richards was talking about of the importance of dealing with innovations that come from the outside, design thinking is about innovations from the inside. It's about leveraging all your people and your talent for figuring out new ways to do things, new products for your customers, et cetera. So there's just an enormous potential for students to grow in their innovation capabilities for helping the company to achieve sustainable competitive advantage. I mean, we know that to stay competitive these days, you have to be innovating, and there are a lot of ways to do it, and design thinking helps us to uncover those.
Boy, you are so correct about that. I mean, I think that's one thing we've seen in the last year with COVID is innovation on speed. It just accelerated the rate of change. And, you know, I want to go back, Terry, to something that I know you teach and you focus on when it comes to, you know, processes and mature processes, because as we're innovating, how do we do it in a way that doesn't break the organization? So speak just a second on that piece of it.
Really good point. There is a model called the capability and maturity model, which refers to the level of processes and procedures that are embedded in the organization. And if you're at a very low level, you repeat and you invent new procedures every time. So someone does a project one way, somebody else does it their way. There's nothing to follow. The best and most successful companies have very mature processes, and that's at a high level of the CMM capability levels. It doesn't have to be a high-tech company. It can be McDonald's. McDonald's has a lot of procedure-driven processes. You know that when you pull up, you know you're driving away in 2 minutes, right? You're going to have everything. They have routines to follow. And the same with an organization. There's no point in collecting very talented workers and not having them follow the best path possible.
Yeah, so true. And there's always that healthy tension between innovation and disruption, because entrepreneurs are always like saying, sometimes we just have to do it and prototype it, because that's part of the model of design thinking, right? At the ideation, but then also then following closely with the mature process. And that tension is really what makes for successful leaders and successful organizations long term.
I agree.
Laura, real quick on the management's focus. So one of the things our students love to do, and this is very popular, and I would encourage it because it just up levels your skill set and your credentialing, is dual degrees. And a popular one is the MBA and the MSM, our Master of Science in Management. So give us just a sentence or two about what is it in that MSM that they get, that those courses that complement the MBA so well.
Well, Susie, you know that the most important resource an organization has these days is its people. And so management becomes imperative. You can know all about the rest, but if you can't really leverage what's inside the heads of your people and get them to bring it to work with them every day to make things better, then you're not going to be able to achieve at the same level. So the Masters of Management really focuses on that management aspect and developing our students to be the very best managers. In the strategic management track, which is one that I teach in primarily, and we also have a human resources management track, we look at understanding the world for the complex place that it is, the volatile, uncertain, and chaotic kind of place that it is, and not trying to oversimplify, but just understanding that's the nature of the reality, and we've got to deal with that kind of complexity, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, really leveraging your intangible resources, your people, what they're thinking and what they're able to do.
Yeah, that's so true. That the level, you can't always just grow your capacity without growing your people. And I see that, and we live that. And look at the people even on this meeting as well, on the Zoom. It's so critical. Thank you. I mean, and I definitely encourage the duals. The students that have gone on and have earned the duals, it's just such an acceleration of time. It just makes such sense, and they tend to just scale their careers faster. And business, money loves speed, so it's always a great thing to just invest in education. It will pay lifelong and immediate dividends. So Professor Fisher, Bill, speaking of immediate dividends, talk to us a little bit about what the students are saying and what you're seeing about their ability to apply real world solutions right away.
Right, and we hear a lot about the practical experience of the faculty and staff, but something that we sometimes don't talk about a lot is the experience of our students. And I see most of these MBA students coming in with a lot of wealth of knowledge and experience in their careers and their jobs, and putting together the program and taking the science of business and current events and case studies and things that are happening, especially today, these things seem to be happening light speed, taking those and be able to bridge that gap. The MBA program really brings these students' experiences to those science of business points, as well as their own experiences, and kind of bridges them together. So we're seeing a lot of these students start to build off of each other and build off concepts that are coming in, and they're going right out and implementing in their businesses and things that in the day-to-day world they might not have thought about, but now they're able to kind of springboard their own careers and their own businesses and things. And a lot of it's sparked from these classes.
So critical, so important. I mean, you jump right in. You're almost in this incredible mastermind and business training program, and then you earn this degree and even a dual, hopefully a dual. So, yeah, Professor Tatzek, if you'll talk to us a little bit about, you lead the MBA program, kind of the direction of the program and really the vision. Talk to us about 2 changes that were implemented in the last year that really respond to the marketplace and why that's so distinctive and valuable for Walsh students.
Sure. One of the things that we think that makes our curriculum distinct from others, and certainly is true to our students where they are now and where they hope to be in the future. We've added a DEI class, diversity, equity, and inclusion, leading that type of change in an organization. We know that's our future. We know that's how the future of business is, and we know that's how the world is moving. And we've assembled experts to help train our students in ways to do that ethically and thoughtfully to move a business forward. And then also we have a leadership communication focus as well, because not only is it important for our students to be able to understand and execute business, but they should be able to communicate it with their people And again, we recognize that business is all about people. So we're training our students to really be the best leaders for today and tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's so excellent, because many times where things break down isn't in the skills, it's in the communication. And that's what's so important, is we want to make sure our students are equipped and empowered to really be successful leaders, change agents, and technology professionals, and entrepreneurs. And one other thing too, I'll round this out and just say, is our flexible delivery modalities. Why is this so important, especially coming out of COVID? Because at Walsh, we believe you don't have to choose between the flexibility your life, your schedule at work needs, and also the academic quality and engagement with your faculty that you deserve. So we have a highly engaged faculty. Even if you're in our virtual courses, our async courses, there are touch points. I've sat in at Professor Richards when she's had live Zoom sessions like office hours, masterminds. If you're in our VS sections, our virtual synchronous, you join live time. And if you're in our VH, our hybrid, you have the option of either sitting in the classroom with an instructor or zooming in with high technology. I mean, this is like cutting edge technology. It follows you around. It's really cool. Like Professor Richards was saying, Terry, you were saying, like, technology, the pace of change. So that's really critical. So if you're thinking to yourself, can I do this with my life? Can I do this with my schedule? Absolutely. And you will not compromise on quality and reputation and rigor. Walsh has it there. We're very strong in that. We blend the best of both worlds. So definitely enroll today. We'll give you more information on how you can do that. Thank you so much for joining, professors. This is amazing that we got to have this time together and to share with prospective students and maybe students that are thinking about getting an MBA. Now is the time. It's time to invest in your future. And there's no better time than now, especially with the pace of change in the world. So, all right. Thanks so much.